Hello friends, we are back this week to finish off the little project that I'm currently working on, which is updating my Cute and Deadly logo and a little profile picture, and this week we're finishing off with the banner. So I decided to take the logo that I did with the Cute and Deadly bunny here and essentially try and split it in two to create either side of the banner. I had a bit of difficulty to start with because I didn't realise that I needed to flatten all of the layers together that made up the bunny in order to copy and paste it into a new canvas. So I had to sort of flatten all the layers down into one and then copy it and then unflatten them so that if I need to go back and edit it at any point, then I still have that ability to do that. So at the moment you're just seeing me go back and forth copying each layer, each element of the logo design, and basically I just sat down for, I think this took me about 45-50 minutes just to kind of sit down, play around with the different elements from the logo to then make the layout for the banner. And I did a bit of a quick Google beforehand to see what the number of pixels is and the size is for making a YouTube banner. So this canvas that I'm working on is specifically for that particular size. So I'm hoping when I go to upload it in the coming week that it will just be all good. I won't have to edit it anymore. But I figured instead of splitting the bunny in half, I just copy and paste the bunny and then move it to either side to delete the other half, because essentially in Procreate, when you position an image partially off the canvas, when you then go to select it again, it will have deleted the portion that is off the canvas. So I figured this was the best way to make it a straight line on either side, because initially I tried to draw that straight line with the editing tool and it wasn't quite as good. But once I'd got that bit sort of sorted, it was actually really useful. I had the guideline tool turned on from when I did the Procreate Beginners course, so I could make sure that both the tops of the ears and the bottom of the artwork were level, and then I just started playing with the bubble writing that I did. So I took this, I had to sort of play around with the deadly word a little bit because it's obviously on more of a curve, so it took me a little bit of time just to make sure both capital letters are the same size, and then just to try and move it around. One of the things I quite liked was having the little N a bit smaller, and I was just trying to figure out all the spacing. It also wasn't intentional, but I didn't realise that I'd got the deadly side next to where cute would be and the cute side of the bunny next to the word deadly. When I drew the bunny, I just was thinking cute on the left, deadly on the right, and didn't really think about it, but I quite like the fact that it turned out that where you've got the deadly bunny, it actually says cute, and where you've got the cute bunny, that's actually deadly. It's which one is which? Is it that way around? Is it another way around? Here I'm just working now on sort of unarching the lettering of the word deadly, so I had to do a little bit of fiddling around with it here, just so that it looked like it was going to be on a straight line, not on a curve. So I had to do a little bit of moving around and then just filling in the gaps of the letters that are left. You can see between the letter D and L there's obviously a little bit of a gap now, so you'll see me fill that in shortly. The next thing that I started doing after I filled this in was I realised that because I'd moved, copied and pasted the bubble writing from the logo and then obviously moved it around and edited it, I started feeling like the lines weren't quite as crisp as I wanted them to. They looked a bit blurry, and so I just ended up going over them to keep them a bit fresher, a bit crisper. Because when I did do the original logo, there is a copy of the logo underneath it which has this Gaussian blur layer, which makes it look like the layer underneath that's copied is sort of glows a little bit, but then you can only see it through as a little sort of glow on the front. That's kind of this how you do it. You have the same layer one below the other, and the one that's at the bottom is the glowy one. so that you can still read the one on the top of it. So I am pleased that I did that, because that's also something that I learned from the Procreate course, but I just wanted to make it look a bit sharper because it's starting to look a bit fuzzy, and I was like, that's not what I'm here for. Funnily enough, this style of writing that I've done for the logo, I don't know why I did it, it just kind of happened, but this is the kind of like style writing I would do at school when you do a poster in class about a particular topic and you needed like a cool title at the top of it, and this is always like I'm gonna do this bit, that's what I'd spend most of my time on, rather than like, you know, actually putting the information on the poster. I was like, I'll be the one that makes it look nice. So yeah, it's quite nice to get back to doing this style of writing. So the next thing that you're going to see me do is I'm going to add another layer. So the Gaussian blur tool that we were talking about earlier, you can see me copying the layer and I'm just like adding another one around it, but putting it underneath so it looks a bit glowy. But then I had to go back over the Y for some reason, I can't remember why. Can't remember why I had to go over the Y. That's, yeah. Anyway, I should get myself back on track because I'm starting to ramble now. The next thing I did was I took like the kind of weird wiggly yellow lines that I'd got, and I wasn't sure if I was going to use them, but I put them on there and had to play around with it just to see. I thought if I put it at the back, maybe it might be like a little kind of nice mirroring of the actual logo, but I decided I didn't like it in the end. I like it as a circle, but not as like a background thing. So my other idea that I had that I thought might be the one that I actually went with was what you're seeing on the screen now. So I wanted to do this kind of like really simple repetitive pattern with just like hearts and stars. So I just started by drawing like a handful of different hearts and stars, some that were line work, some that were filled in, but I wanted them to be just an ever so slightly lighter tone than what the background colour was. So I'm just having a look at sort of moving them around now and figuring out which ones do I want to keep, which ones do I want to get rid of, just to try and make like a small square so that I can then copy and paste it often like multiple times to then make the background. The other thing that was kind of like going through my head was like that I could as well, like if I ever get to a point where for my Etsy shop, if I want to like make customizable tissue paper or something, this would be a really cute background to have, like to just easily print on large sheets of tissue paper. And that's probably quite a way off. But you know, you have these thoughts and it's quite nice to think, yeah, I could use that in the future, not just here necessarily. Yeah. But what you see me do now is I'm basically starting to copy and paste this pattern and use the guideline tool that's turned on in the app to make sure that they all line up each time. And once you've copied a few, then you very quickly end up being able to fill the page quite fast. But each time you obviously copy and paste it, the pasted bit is a new layer, so you then have to make sure that you pinch the layers together so that you've just got one layer to then play around with. So by the time I get to this point, it's just one, and as soon as I saw that I'd filled it like this and started moving the logo around, I was actually really excited, because I just thought it looked really cute, and I like tested, you know, did I want the yellow rings in there again? No, definitely not. This is the one that I want, and I'm really happy with it. So now I just gotta hope that it uploads okay to the YouTube banner, and in the next week I'll make sure I've got that uploaded along with the logo and the profile picture, so it's all coming together. And I will see you next week, where I'm hopefully going to be looking at creating a VTubing character so that you guys can actually have something that resembles me on the screen, because me in front of the camera talking, I've learned that doesn't work. But maybe if I have like a little avatar that talks as I talk, that would be quite cool. Thanks ever so much. See you later. Bye.